Today in Squad Busters, I'm going to be ranking every troop in the game from worst to best. Because ever since the 2.0 update, there's been many balance changes and a Sonic update, which has changed which troops are better since my last tier list. Okay, so let's get started off with the two new Sonic units, Tails and Knuckles. So where are they going to go in my tier list? Well, Tails is going to go in B tier. And the reason for that is because, honestly, he does decent damage. If your Tails gets destroyed inside of his little, like, shooting machine thingy-mabob, he can then run around for a little bit and then respawn. So that's why he's there. And Knuckles, which funnily enough, I thought would be better than Tails. I don't think he is. I think he's C tier. Although I think Knuckles is at the top of C tier and Tails is at the bottom of B tier. So they're actually still kind of close together. Knuckles, when he digs underground and comes back over, he drops some coins, gets some loot, does some splash damage and a little bit of a stun. But honestly, it doesn't seem to be that good and make much of a difference at all. If it was like an old miner where it was like a 1 second or a 1.5 second stun, maybe we'd be talking. But we're not talking because it's bad. Anyways, let's go back to worst to best. We're going to start off with the horror section. These units are horror. Please don't use them. And starting off, we have the worst unit in the game, the miner. Wow. It used to be the best unit in the game. I know I've said this a lot, but it's the worst, dude. It goes underground, gives you a coin like every 2 seconds. If you're using turbo, which you're probably not, which is also useless because then you have to go back to pick up the coin sometime. I don't know, bro, but the miner's useless. Please don't be using it. Same with El Primo as well. He seems to just be a good stunner. Now, he used to have an ability where he would pounce on somebody, but, well, that ability is now an ability, not the troop itself, so therefore, that's made it a lot less useful. And by the way, for this video, I'm talking about how the troops are, not their abilities. So, for example, Greg has a log spell. We're not talking about that. We'll just be talking about Greg. Next up, we have Bo in horror as well. Now, in 1.0, Bo wasn't very good, and the recent balance changes hasn't changed Bo at all, besides, well, the mind spell, but that's something different. Bo, in my opinion, needs a complete overhaul. He should not be increasing the damage that you do to other monsters. Instead, what he should be doing is just something else, all right? Maybe makes all your hot shots do more damage or can attack from further. I don't know, but should not be doing what he does against monsters. We also have the witch in horror as well. Now, 1.0, I did say if the skeletons followed you, it would make her better. They've done that. She's still bad. If she was a rare, would she be good? Honestly, I don't think so. Still wouldn't pick her if she was a rare. For witch to be good, they'd have to make those skeletons maybe spawn a lot more or do just a lot more damage and be a lot more tanky for it to therefore be useful. And then the final troop in horror, which funnily enough, at the start of 2.0, I put in A tier, is going to be Chicken at the top of horror. Now, the Chicken isn't very good at the moment because Turbo's received quite a few buffs recently, along with the fact we now have Sonic, which gives you a crap ton of turbo. Everything regenerates your turbo quickly, so you just don't need Chicken for those turbo boots anymore. The game gives you more than enough turbo. 1 to 2 turbo boots is all you need because they regenerate quickly. You probably have some speedsters in your squad like Max or Leon, which can help with that stuff. Chicken clones as well. You should not be using a Chicken. Like, I can't think of a single troop where Chicken is good. Maybe Mortis. It used to be all right with Mortis, but no, I would replace it with a better common. Moving on to C tier. At the bottom of C tier, we're going to have Elita 1. She does a little bit more damage when you run and then, well, you stand still. She does a tiny bit more damage. Not that useful. Next up, we're going to have the Bandit. I feel like the Bandit has potential, not going to lie. Whenever you killed a big monster, they will drop an extra coin. I feel like all they should do for the Bandit is no matter what you kill, no matter what monster you kill, it drops an extra coin. That way, it would be way more useful. It doesn't just apply to the bigger monsters. You can kill a couple skeletons, a couple guards, or whatever it may be, and you get some coins from that. Way better, and I think it would put her up to B tier. Next up, we have Jessie in C tier, just above Bandit. Funnily enough, if Jessie was for Hatchling Run, it'd be S tier, top of S tier. In fact, Hatchling Run is coming out in a few days, so she will be S tier for that. Nita's also going to go in C tier. Nita works really only with the Mortis hero, but as we know, Mortis isn't that good at the moment, although there were some balance changes which improved him, but we'll have to see how that does. So yeah, Nita is still low for now, unless Mortis turns out to be a lot better, and therefore Nita comes in a little bit more. Goblin's also going to go in C tier. Funnily enough, Goblin's coin stash spell got a nerf in the recent update, so that is no longer as good, but obviously the coins you get from Goblin, that is different, useless. I mean, it's not useless, I can't lie. I use it sometimes, but I feel like every chest you open, it should give you some coins, or maybe just give you more coins when you pick up a Goblin from a chest. And then the final troop in C tier is going to be the Ice Wizard. Ice Wizard just hasn't found his footing since the 2.0 update, although the free spell has found its footing. It's not that bad. Moving on to B tier, and at the bottom of B tier, we have Dr. T. Spawns in a Mega Crab, which, by the way, does stun, and I know some people at a higher level have been using Dr. T with some success, which is actually why I'm now changing my mind, and Dr. T is going to be at the top of B tier, not the bottom of B tier. I changed my mind instantly, just right now. Yes, so the Dr. T crab can actually stun, stun people's heroes, which is useful. I've seen some top players using it. It works well with Nita, but I actually have B, Max, and Battle Healer as my epics in my squad. I don't think Dr. T is better than those, so there. Hog Rider is also going to be a B tier. He had a bit of a fall off. I originally had him in S tier, then A tier. Essentially, when you go over grass, you get 75% speed boost for a few seconds, but there are actually so many better rares in the game that I feel like I need. I don't mind lacking a bit of turbo from the Hog Rider, mainly because of the fact you have to find some grass in the first place to get that turbo boost. Pam's also going to get a nerf from my last tier list in B tier as well, and that's only because Medic and Poco are so good. Medic has received a lot of buffs, and Poco, I don't understand why. He seems to bug out. Sometimes he'll like heal your squad instantly. I don't know what that is. I think it's when you kill like someone's ability troops, like a barbarian or a chicken clone, or someone's like royal recruit, but it makes Poco really broke. So yeah, Pam therefore isn't very good, and actually I'd put it below Hog Rider. Colt also in B tier, a very good hot shot, does a lot of damage. I've seen some Archer Queen users use the Colt, which can be useful, so he's in B tier. Archer's also going to be in B tier, nothing special, just like Colt, although it does increase the range of your squad. The Archer Arrow Volley, I think, received a buff yesterday as well, so that's not too bad. Shelly again in B tier. These are all similar between Colt, Archer, Shelly. Isn't amazing, does its thing. And then we're going to have Barbarian, and I'm going to put Barbarian just above Dr. T. Barbarian works very well with the Barbarian King because, as you know, all the melee units do more damage. I've seen a lot of Barbarian King users use a Barbarian. Me personally, I prefer the Poco over the Barbarian because I want that healing, but it's useful, although Barbarian King received a nerf recently, so maybe not going to be as good, but who knows. And then the final troop in B tier, a little bit like Barbarian, another melee. It's going to be Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime heals you when you take damage, which is kind of useful, and because he's a melee, he works especially well with the Barbarian King, which again got a nerf, so maybe not as good now, but we'll see. Anyways, moving on to A tier, and a unit which has gone up 2 slots since my last tier list is going to be Penny. Penny is actually, I don't know, I'm really liking her. Ever since they made that one change where they removed the heart that you get from the map and they swapped it for a key, it has been very good. I've been using it with my Royale King, also because when you pick a Penny, as she's a supply, you get 3 elite recruits instead of 1 because you get the 2 extra ones, so pretty good for that as well. And then obviously the map. Greg's also going in A tier, but only above Penny and way below Mavis, which will be later in the tier list. And the reason for that is Greg got a buff in the last balance changes, but Mavis got a way bigger buff. So even though Greg is better than he was in the last tier list, because Mavis's buff was so much more, it means Greg isn't as high. Although Greg is still good, and I'll still use him sometimes, especially if other people are using Mavis in my same lobby when I'm playing competitive. Dynamite, another A tier troop. In fact, what I'm using at the moment is Dynamite, Tank, and Frank, because Frank and Dynamite do really good splash damage, and then the tank can lock onto that hero and do damage. Either way, Dynamite is a very good splash damage unit, and I've been noticing splash damage has been more useful recently. Colonel Ruffs is going down in my tier list from S tier down to A tier, not even the top of A tier, but mid of A tier. Fuses up a unit in your squad, and although that can be useful if you're not using like a Royale King, I would still like to not have a Colonel Ruffs in order to have a better epic in my squad. Although Ruffs is still good, by the way. He's in S tier, so I've seen some Archer Queen users and Barbarian King use him with success. In A tier, we're gonna have B as well. Now, B has been destroyed like every single balance change that they've done since 2.0 has dropped. They've nerfed B over and over again. Yes, she's still really good, and she is one of the troops I'm using in my Royale King lineup right now because she's good for the splash, and again, I've told you I love splash at the moment, so yeah. We also have the Wizard in A tier, and this is mainly because he's bugged. As you guys know, the Wizard affects the hero's ability twice, so the 25% reduction for your powers to regenerate happens twice to the hero's ability, and therefore it means he's a lot better than he should be. For the Barbarian King, where normally it takes 8 seconds to charge up his power punch, well, it only takes 4.5 seconds with the Wizard. Battle Healer is also near the top of A tier. She's gone up a spot. She used to be in B tier. She's actually pretty good right now, I cannot lie. Giving an extra 4,000 health per Battle Healer, so if you have a Mega Battle Healer, that's 3, that's 12,000 health. It really does make a difference in your squad. Makes you really annoying to take out, means you can get into fights more often, or just run away and not take a beating. Frank is also going to be going in A tier, like Dynamite. I don't really need to say much here. Frank is a melee though, so he works very well with the Barbarian King, who increases other melees. He does good splash, he's tanky, decent damage, he's solid. And then the second best healer in the game is going to be Poco, which what I just said, for some reason he seems to just randomly heal up your squad to full health when I'm in a fight and I'm about to die. And again, I don't know the exact cause of that is. I think it's probably when you're killing people's, well, it's not when I'm killing a troop, it's when I'm killing like one of their ability troops. But yeah, also works especially well with the Royale King to keep those golden recruits alive forever or for longer. And then the best troop in A tier is gonna be Mavis. Mavis, she is really solid. The best healer, the best farmer in the game, way better than Greg now. She gives you a lot of gems and a lot of coins. So, oh, and also she picks carrots really quick now. I forgot about that, but she keeps getting buffed with how quickly she picks carrots. Anyways, we're now moving into S tier, the best troops in the game, and at the bottom of S tier, we're gonna have Medic, which received a 30% heal buff in not the last balance changes, but the balance changes before that. He always is solid. He just sort of keeps everything alive, and I love to have him in my squad. I only don't have him for the Barbarian King because the other res are too important, but with the Royale King, I'm always using him for those infinite chicken clones or Barbarian Charge, which actually got a nerf recently. Tank is also going to be going in S tier. If a tank locks onto a hero with a Mega Potion, with Leon's ability active, it is over for them. They just get destroyed. And then if you can use the Barbarian King to spread out the troops, it's not that hard to lock onto the hero. So tank is always going to be S tier. Next up, we're going to have Max again. Gives you a big speed increase that lasts for a while. That's just, well, it lasts forever as long as you're killing monsters. Really good. Same with Leon. Same as Max. It gives you a speed increase, but on top of that, gives you a damage boost increase. So it's just even better. You get a max and like a damage boost all in one troop. And then even though Trader has received many nerfs, well, 2 nerfs, but he's here. He's at the top of S tier still. He's very good. That Mega Potion is still a must. I know when Trader first got nerfed, no, when it got its recent nerf, people stopped using it for a little while just to see if Barbarian King was better without the Trader Potion. Everyone's using Trader Potion still. It's very good. It's what you need with the Archer Queen. Just everything. Everything Trader is good. I think the only time you might not need a Trader is if you're using a Sonic and you're trying to out-farm people, which is what I do in competitive games. But besides that, Trader is a must for everything. Anyways, this here, guys, is the full character tier list, the top troops in the game for July. What do you guys think about it? There are definitely a lot of changes, and I wonder how it will be after the next update. And, well, once we see the balance changes tomorrow settle in a bit more. Even though that didn't change the troop, it changed the heroes. But the heroes, being good or bad, changes how the troops are, in my opinion. Anyways, thanks for watching this video. Use code Claz in the Squad Buster shop if you ever buy anything. And check out my last video on screen right here to watch more from me. Bye-bye.